Okay, for this brief video, I'm going to try and do a couple of floor-to-wall details. First, I want to do one on a framed wall. So this is 2x6 framing with drywall on one side, or gypboard as Revit calls it, and sheathing on the other, and some sort of exterior assembly. And we have a floor. We're going to say we have a floor coming in somewhere in here. Okay, on the top of the floor, we're going to have, for purposes of this class, we're either going to have a 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch plywood or OSB. That'll be the decking material for the top of this floor. Now, we're going to have some overlap probably in your Revit drawings. So what I'm going to try and do here is leave some of the overlap, but explain to you how some of it will go away when you draft over it. Now, on the edge of your floor system, there will be a joist called a rim joist, R-I-M, as in the rim of the joist system. And for purposes of this illustration, the joists are running this direction, except for this rim joist. So this rim joist is like this. And it's most likely going to be an LVL product of some sort. Okay, now on top of the floor sheathing, now if you think about how this is built, the first level walls would be put up, and there'd be a double top plate at the top of the first wall. Two 2x6s on top of one another as a double top plate for the top of this first wall. Then this floor system is sat on top. Then in order for the framers to be able to walk around, there will be decking on top of that, which we've decided is going to be 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch OSB or plywood. Then the second wall, the second level wall, goes up, and it'll have one bottom plate sitting on top of that sheathing, not below it, on top of it. Okay, so we don't see these lines anymore because we're going to mask over them in Revit, or they don't exist in the first place if we're drawing it like this. So this becomes our overall wall assembly. So this outside face of the core is where the grid line is, or the face of the concrete, as we learned in our other details. So this is our core right here. And we've got various levels of assembly. Our gypboard, we have some sort of a ceiling material under here. Could be gypboard, could be something else. Gypboard here, and eventually we'll probably have a trim board. And our floor material is on top of our decking in here. Now we know that we're going to need some insulation in our exterior walls for thermal things. This then becomes a bridge point for thermal bridging, so we want to make sure and put some insulation in here. You can study different ways to do that, but for now, we're going to put some insulation in, at least back this far. And if you're thinking about sound transmission through here, then you may also want to carry your insulation all the way through. Okay, so then you have your profile line that you want to make sure stands out. So this is the outside edge of the cut assembly. So this is your profile line. There are several things you're going to need to label here on this detail. You're going to need to label the gypboard. You need to label the batt insulation. You're going to need to label the trim board. The floor finish material. The 3/4 inch or 5/8 inch plywood or OSB. You're going to need to label floor framing, your ceiling material for, I'm going to call it gypboard here. Gypboard here. This is your rim joist. And then your wall assembly. This could be air, I don't know what you have, but it could be airspace. It could be right up against the wall, would be 1/2 inch sheathing. And then outside your airspace could be your stucco assembly or your wood assembly or whatever, your brick, whatever it is. I'm going to call this wood siding. If you wanted to, you could label your single bottom plate. Just call it bottom plate. And you could label double top plate. And that should suffice for your wall, your floor to wall detail in a framed condition.